Did you know you could break into a six-figure supply chain career in just weeks instead of years? Most people think you need expensive training, years of experience climbing the ladder, or a 4-year degree. But what if I told you there's another path to get started? These positions are real, they're in demand, and they've been overlooked for far too long until now. Stick around because I'm gonna break down exactly how you can start your six-figure supply chain path in the next 90 days. Even if you're starting from absolute zero. I'm talking about real jobs, real companies, and real salaries that can change your life. Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Mark Potts. I help people upgrade their jobs into the high-paying, fast-paced world of supply chain. And today, I'm gonna give you everything step by step. I've been in the supply chain world for over 10 years now, and I've done pretty much everything you can do in this industry. I've managed teams of more than 50 people inside of massive Amazon warehouses. We're talking 1.1 million square feet. I've also worked on making logistics networks run smoother, and right now, I'm leading commercial sales for some of our biggest accounts. My career's taken me through operations, continuous improvement, project management, and logistics coordination. What I really love about this work is how it's allowed me to grow my income into well into six figures, which means I can provide real stability and comfort for my family. I've also built the supply chain coordinator course at Course Careers, where we teach people with zero experience how to break into this field fast. I've seen students go from retail jobs, driving jobs, customer service roles, and even unemployment to landing supply chain positions making $55,000 to $65,000 in their first year. I know what employers are looking for, and I know how to help you position yourself as a candidate they want to hire. Grab a notepad, let's get into it. Here's the problem. Most people are chasing the wrong opportunities. They're going after jobs that AI is already replacing, jobs that are too competitive, or jobs in industries that are barely hiring. You could spend years doing that and still end up stuck and frustrated. I see this all the time. People grinding away in dead-end jobs thinking they need to go back to school for 4 years to make a decent living. They're taking on tens of thousands in student debt, spending years in classrooms learning potentially outdated info, and then graduating into a job market that doesn't even need what they learned. The smarter move to target entry-level roles that aren't being made obsolete by new technology, that are in demand and that are desperate for qualified workers. These are the kind of roles companies have to fill, and they're the exact ones that set you up for serious advancement. Supply chain is one of those fields. It's the backbone of every business. If a company makes a product or delivers a service, they need a supply chain professional to make it happen. And right now, there's a massive talent shortage. According to BrainWorks, in 2025, 76% of supply chain operations say they don't have enough workers. Companies need people who understand the basics of logistics, procurement, inventory management, and coordination. And as a result, they are dropping degree requirements left and right. What they care about is if you can solve problems and get results. So what exactly is supply chain? Simply put, supply chain is about getting the right product to the right place at the right time, and as efficiently as possible. It's solving logistical problems for companies so they can deliver to their customers without delays, waste, or unnecessary costs. Think about it. Every time you order something online, there's a whole network of people making sure that that product gets from the manufacturer to the warehouse to your doorstep. Every time you walk into a store and see products on the shelves, there's a team of people who coordinated with suppliers, managed inventory levels, and arranged transportation, ensuring everything arrived on time. That's the supply chain. Now, the awesome thing about supply chain is that you're not stuck doing the same thing day in and day out. Like I mentioned, I've been in operations, continuous improvement, project management, logistics, and now in commercial sales. It's been a ride learning all the different aspects of supply chain and becoming a well-rounded supply chain leader. And here's the best part. More and more companies no longer require that degree or years of experience, making it easier to get your foot in the door. Let me break down the 3 entry-level roles you can target right now. The first role is procurement buyer or procurement specialist. This is one of the least technical, most accessible roles in supply chain, and yet it's critical to every business. Procurement is all about sourcing the right materials, negotiating with suppliers, managing contracts, and making sure the company gets what it needs at the best price. No coding, no years of experience, no advanced degree, just strong communication skills, attention to detail, and the ability to build relationships with vendors. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in real life. Let's say your company makes furniture. As a procurement specialist, you'd be responsible for finding suppliers who can provide wood, fabric, hardware, and other materials at the best quality and price. You'd negotiate contracts, manage purchase orders, track deliveries, and ensure the materials meet the company's standards. You'd also be monitoring supplier performance and looking for ways to reduce costs without sacrificing quality. And here's why this role is so powerful. Companies are legally required to have procurement processes in place, especially in regulated industries. They can't just wing it. They need qualified people managing their supplier relationships and ensuring compliance with industry standards and regulations. These procurement specialists usually start around 50 to 60K, but the ceiling is high. As you gain experience and certifications, you can move into procurement management or strategic sourcing roles that pay well into six figures. The second role is supply chain analyst. This is where you start digging into the data. You're reviewing performance metrics, identifying bottlenecks, working with cross-functional teams, and suggesting improvements. You're helping the company figure out where they're losing time or money and how to fix it. Let me give you an example. Let's say a company is consistently missing delivery deadlines to a major customer. As an analyst, you dig into the data to figure out why. Is it a problem with the supplier? Is it the warehouse that's understaffed? Are the transportation routes inefficient? You look at the numbers, talk to the teams involved, and present your findings to leadership with suggestions for improvement. Maybe you suggest switching suppliers, adjusting inventory levels, or optimizing delivery routes. This role typically requires a bit more analytical thinking, but you're still not expected to be a data scientist. You're just learning how to spot patterns, use basic tools like Excel or inventory management software, and communicate what you find to the team in a way that makes sense. Analysts usually start at around $60,000 to $70,000, and in this role, it's a natural stepping stone into project management, operations, or logistics leadership. But here's the thing, not every problem can be solved with data alone, and that's where role number 3 comes in. The third role is my favorite entry-level role. That's the supply chain coordinator. This is one of the most accessible entry points into the field. You're the person coordinating shipments, tracking inventory, communicating with suppliers and carriers, and making sure everything runs smoothly. You're not designing the entire supply chain system from scratch. You're just running the process and handing off the results. No deep technical background needed. You just need to follow the system, use the tools the company provides, and keep things moving. Think of it like being the air traffic controller for a company's products. You're making sure everything gets where it needs to go on time without issues. Your day-to-day might include checking shipment schedules, updating tracking information, communicating with warehouse teams, resolving delivery delays, and maintaining records in inventory management software. Entry-level coordinators typically make between $55,000 and $63,000 to start, and it's a role that sets you up perfectly for advancement. Once you understand how the coordination side works, you can easily move into analyst roles, project management, or even operations leadership. This is how you break in even if you're starting from scratch. You don't need to be a supply chain expert on day one. You just need to understand the fundamentals and prove you can execute. And that brings me to the most important question. How do you actually learn these skills? Now that you understand the roles, here's how you actually get the skills to land one of these jobs. This is where Course Careers comes in. Course Careers has a free intro course that gives you the foundations of supply chain in less than a day. You're gonna learn what the career actually involves, what the job market looks like, and how to break in, and also whether it's a good fit for you. Zero risk, zero cost. You can literally start today and know by tonight if this is the path for you. When you sign up, you'll also meet Cora, your AI career counselor and teaching assistant. Cora helps you choose the right career path based on your personality and goals. It keeps you accountable as you learn and answers your questions in real time. It's like having a personal mentor available 24/7. Inside the full supply chain coordinator program, you'll go from foundation to specialized training to real-world case studies. We cover procurement, logistics coordination, inventory management, technology tools like transportation management systems and warehouse management systems, sustainability practices, and data analysis. Everything that you need to speak the language that employers care about. We also cover the practical skills that a lot of typical education misses. Things like how to communicate with suppliers, how to handle critical shipments, how to use Excel for inventory tracking, how to optimize transportation routes, and how to work cross-functionally with different teams. These are the real-world skills that companies actually need. Not theory, not fluff, not outdated textbook knowledge. Just the practical, hands-on skills that get you hired and help you perform well in your first 90 days on the job. But it doesn't stop at skills. You'll get resume coaching, interview prep, and even connections to partner companies that are actively hiring. We help you optimize your LinkedIn, build your personal brand, and position yourself as a job-ready candidate. We walk you through exactly how to frame your previous experience in a way that makes sense for supply chain roles. Whether you worked in retail, drove for Amazon, managed a restaurant, or worked in customer service, you already have the transferable skills. You just need to learn how to talk about them the right way. You can finish the intro course in a day and the full program in just a couple weeks. Alex finished his training and landed a 71,000 logistics coordinator role with talks of moving into management. Imagine being able to say you're job ready this month instead of waiting years to finish a degree. The full course is only $499, and we offer payment plans if you need them. Compare that to tens of thousands in student loans or $10,000 to $30,000 for a boot camp. This is by far the most affordable, fastest path to a real supply chain career. And here's the best part. We have a 14-day money-back guarantee. So if you go through the course and decide it's not for you, just let us know and we'll refund you. No questions asked. We're that confident in what we've built. Once you've completed the training, you'll be able to speak the language of supply chain. You'll understand how to reduce risk, solve logistical problems, and optimize costs, and show measurable value. You'll know how to talk about transportation management systems, warehouse management systems, inventory turnover, on-time delivery rates, and supplier performance metrics. That's the kind of language that gets you hired. And the best part, these skills are transferable. Whether you came in from retail, customer service, driving for Amazon, or working in a warehouse, you already have experience that applies to supply chain. You just need to learn how to frame it in the right way. Let me give you a real example. One of our students, Tyrell, was working in retail and driving for Amazon. He had no formal supply chain experience, but he understood customer expectations. He knew how logistics work from the driver's perspective. He also had strong communication skills. He went through the Course Career Supply Chain Coordinator program, learned how to position his experience on his resume, and landed a $63,000 supply chain role with full benefits. Now he's coordinating shipments, managing supplier relationships, and building a real career with room for growth. That's what's possible when you have the right training and the right support system. So let me ask you this. Have you heard of these roles before watching this video? Which one sounds the most doable for you? Drop a comment below and let me know. Are you leaning toward coordinator because you like the idea of keeping things organized and running smoothly? Are you drawn to analyst because you enjoy problem solving and figuring out why things aren't working? Or does procurement sound appealing because you're good at building relationships and negotiating? Make sure to let me know in the comments. I read every single one and I'll reply with my advice tailored to your situation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.